Hello everyone, welcome to the video lecture on applied hydraulics. In this video lecture, we will be discussing about non-uniform flow. This video lecture is continuation of the previous video lecture on hydraulic jump. In this video lecture, we will be discussing about expression for conjugate depths, expression for energy loss. Please note, the terms conjugate depth, sequent depth and alternate depths are synonymous. Let us recall hydraulic jump. Hydraulic jump may be defined as a phenomena wherein a supercritical flow gets converted into subcritical flow, and during the process there is a distinct rise in the water surface elevation. Here you can see the supercritical flow is getting converted into subcritical flow and there is a distinct rise in water surface. The kinetic energy of supercritical flow is converted into potential energy of subcritical flow, and during the process there is a loss of energy. The loss of energy is due to the turbulence due to eddies which are created in a hydraulic jump. In order to study the conditions of flow before and after the hydraulic jump, mere application of energy conservation equation does not give complete solution. We all know that in a hydraulic jump, the kinetic energy of supercritical flow is getting converted into potential energy of subcritical flow, and there is also loss of energy. But just by applying law of conservation of energy, we cannot find complete solution to the fluid flow phenomena. Hence, we need to use momentum conservation equation along with energy conservation equation and law of conservation of mass in order to analyze a hydraulic jump. So while analyzing a hydraulic jump, a control volume of fluid is considered. The following assumptions are made in the analysis of hydraulic jump. The loss of head due to friction at the walls and at the channel bed is negligible. So the channel surfaces, be it at the bottom or at the side, they are rough. So obviously due to the rough surfaces, when water is flowing, there will be friction and there will be loss of head. So this loss of head due to friction at the walls as well as the channel bottom is neglected here. We will be assuming the flow to be uniform and the pressure distribution, we will be assuming it to be hydrostatic before and after the jump. We will be assuming the channel to be having very small slope, or we will be assuming the channel to be horizontal. So if we assume the channel to be horizontal, the weight component in the direction of flow can be neglected. And the last assumption is the momentum correction factor beta, we will be considering it to be unity. Now coming to height of jump. Height of jump, we will be denoting it as Hj. Height of jump is nothing but the difference in the free surface levels before and after the jump. Consider a hydraulic jump formed in a prismatic channel. So here we are considering a rectangle channel. Consider a hydraulic jump which is formed in a prismatic channel, which is a rectangle channel with a horizontal floor, that is the bed slope is 0, and let us assume it to carry a discharge Q as shown in the figure. Y1 is the depth of flow at section 11, V1 is the velocity of flow at section 11, P1 is the hydrostatic pressure at section 11. Y2, V2 and P2 are the corresponding values at section 22. Now let us consider the continuity equation. Q is given by A1 V1 is equals to A2 V2. Since this is a rectangle channel, A1 will be given by B into Y1 and A2 will be given by B into Y2. Now as I have said, this is a prismatic channel, so the section will remain same. So Q by B is equals to y1 v1 is equals to y2 v2. Q by V is nothing but discharge per unit width. So we can say the discharge per unit width small q is equals to v1 y1 is equals to v2 y2. Let us denote this as equation 1. We can rewrite this equation for velocity of flow. So velocity of flow at section 1 v1 is equals to q divided by y1 and v2 is equals to q divided by y2. Now in case of hydrostatic pressure distribution, the pressure force is given by the formula capital P is equals to omega A y bar, where y bar is the vertical depth of centroid of wetted area from liquid surface. In this case, since it is a rectangle section, so y bar will be half the depth of flow at that particular section. So the pressure force at section 1 will be denoting it as P1. P1 will be equal to omega. Here the area is y1 into 1 and y bar will be y1 by 2. So if you simplify, P1 will be omega y1 square by 2. Likewise, the pressure force at section 2 will be omega y2 square divided by 2. The net force which is acting on the control volume of water will be P2 minus P1. Since the depth of flow at section 2 is greater than the depth of flow at section 1, so the hydrostatic pressure force at section 2 will be greater than the hydrostatic pressure force at section 1. So if we simplify, we can write P2 minus P1 as omega by 2 y2 square minus omega by 2 y1 square. So omega by 2 we can take common, y2 square minus y1 square. Let us denote this as equation 2. Now the change in linear momentum is given by rho q into the bracket v1 minus v2. So this is mass and this is change in velocity. Let us denote this as equation 3. Now if you recall the Newton's second law, F is given by mass into acceleration. We will be denoting it as ma. F will be equal to m. Acceleration we can rewrite as dv by dt, that is change in velocity with respect to time. So if we rewrite this above equation, it will be f dt is equals to m of dv. So m of dv I can write as d of mv, which is nothing but change in momentum. So f dt will be as it is. So this equation f dt is equals to d of mv is nothing but the impulse momentum equation, which says the impulse of a force acting on a mass of a fluid flowing with a velocity v over a short interval of time dt will be equal to change in momentum. So according to impulse momentum equation, the net force acting on the control volume of fluid will be equal to change in momentum. Now we need to equate equation 2 and 3. So P2 minus P1 will be equal to rho q v1 minus v2 into 1. So omega by 2 y2 square minus y1 square, which is nothing but the value of P2 minus P1, and I am writing this value rho q v1 minus v2 as it is. But in place of v1 and v2, let us substitute the value of v1 and v2, which is nothing but q by y1 and q by y2 for v2. So omega we can write as rho into g. So omega is nothing but the specific weight of fluid. So omega w will be equal to mass density into acceleration due to gravity. So in place of omega we are writing rho g by 2 into y2 square minus y1 square, that will be equal to rho q in the bracket. So in place of v1 and v2 we are substituting the values of v1 and v2. So if we simplify this equation, it will be rho q square into 1 minus y1 minus 1 by y2. So if we simplify the right hand side part, it will be y2 minus y1 divided by y1 y2. So here rho we can cancel since it is common on either side. So the simplification of the above equation is g by 2 into y2 plus y1 into y2 minus y1 is equals to q square into y2 minus y1 divided by y1 y2. So this equation or simplification of this equation, which is nothing but here y2 plus y1 is equals to 2q square g y1 y2. This equation we call it as momentum equation of hydraulic jump, and in fact we need to remember this equation. Why? Because we will be using this equation in other derivation and also while solving problems. Now, for this equation 4, that is y2 plus y1 is equals to 2q square divided by g y1 by 2. If we multiply by y2 on either side, we will be getting y2 square is equals to y1 y2 is equals to 2q square divided by g y1. Let me shift this right hand side term to the left hand side. So we can rewrite the above equation as y2 square plus y1 y2 minus 2q square divided by g y1. The above equation is of the form ax square plus bx plus c is equals to 0. So we know how to find the roots of the equation. So the root of this equation ax square plus bx plus c is equals to 0 is x is equals to minus b plus or minus under root of b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. So when we compare equation 5 with this equation, so x will be equal to y2 and a will be equal to 1, b is equals to y1 and c will be equal to minus 2q square divided by g y1. So we can find the roots of the equation. y2 will be equal to minus y1 by 2 plus or minus under root of y1 square minus 4 into, so a is 1, so let me substitute the value of c, which is 2q square divided by g y1 whole divided by 2a. A is nothing but 1, so whole divided by 2. So if we simplify this equation, it will be y2 is equals to minus y1 by 2 plus or minus under root of y1 square by 4 plus 2q square divided by g y1. So this equation has two roots. One is y2 is equals to minus y1 by 2 plus under root of y1 square by 4 plus 2q square divided by g y1, or y2 is equals to minus y2 is equals to minus y1 by 2 minus under root of y1 square by 4 plus 2q square divided by g y1. Since the depth of flow cannot be negative, we need to neglect the second root of the equation. Hence, y2 will be equal to minus y1 by 2 plus under root of y1 square by 4 plus 2q square divided by g y1. Let us denote this equation as equation 6. So this is the equation for the alternate depth or sequent depth or conjugate depth. And if you want to find the height of the equation, if you want to find the height of the jump will be y2 minus y1, which is nothing but the difference in free surface levels before and after the jump. We can simplify the above equation 6. So in place of q, we can write v1 y1. So if we simplify this equation, we will be getting y2 is equals to minus y1 by 2 plus under root of y1 square by 4 plus 2 v1 square y1 divided by g. Let me call this as equation 6a. Now, we can express y2 in terms of upstream Froude number. Since we will be knowing the velocity of flow at section 1,1 and we also know the depth. So if we know v1 and y1, we can find the Froude number at section 1,1. So we can express y2 in terms of upstream Froude number. So equation 6a we can rewrite as y2 is equals to minus y1 by 2 plus under root of y1 square by 4. Here I have taken y1 square by 4 common. If we compare this equation, y1 square by 4 I have taken common. So if we simplify, I will be getting y2 is equals to minus y1 by 2 plus under root of y1 square by 4, which is common. In the bracket I will be having 1 plus 8 v1 square by g y1, or y2 is equals to, so let me take y1 square by 4 outside. So when it comes out of the root, it is y1 by 2. So minus y1 by 2 plus y1 by 2 under root of 1 plus 8 v1 square by g y1. But what is Froude's number? Froude's number Fr is equals to v under root of gy. Hence v1 under root of gy one will be Fr1. Here it is v1 square under root of gy one. So this becomes Fr1 square. So if we substitute that value, we will be getting this final equation. y2 is equals to minus y1 by 2 plus y1 by 2 under root of 1 plus 8 FR1 square, which is Froude number at section 1. So this is the final equation. And here also obviously the height of the jump hj is equals to the difference in free surface levels. So since this is the difference in free surface levels or depth, hence the unit will be either in meters, centimeters or millimeters. Now I have been saying that during a hydraulic jump there is a loss of energy. The kinetic energy of supercritical flow is getting converted into potential energy of subcritical flow, and during this process there is a loss of energy. So let us find the loss of energy. The loss of energy due to hydraulic jump is given by the difference in specific energy at section 1 and 2, which is nothing but the specific energy at upstream and downstream. Obviously here we need to refer the previous figure. So EL will be specific energy at section 1 minus specific energy at section 2. Let me call this as equation 1. So specific energy at section 1, let us write it as y1 plus v1 square by 2g, which is the equation of specific energy at section 1. Likewise, specific energy at section 2 will be y2 plus v2 square divided by 2g. Now let us rearrange the terms. The velocities have been arranged in one side and the difference in depth have been arranged in one side. So v1 I can write as q by y1. So let me substitute the value of v1. v1 is equals to, so if you simplify the above equation, it will be q square divided by 2g y1 square minus, in place of v2 it is q by y2. So v2 square by 2g will be q square divided by 2g y2 square, and these two terms will be as it is. So q square by 2g we can take common, so we will be left with 1 by y1 square minus 1 by y2 square, and y2 minus y1 we will be writing it as it is. Now the loss of energy EL is equals to q square by 2g. Here we can take y1 square y2 square as a common denominator. So if we simplify, we will be getting y2 square minus y1 square minus y2 minus y1 will be as it is. But if you remember the previous equation 4, that is the momentum equation of hydraulic jump, this is the equation, okay. So y2 plus y1 is equals to 2q square divided by g y1 y2. If you simplify for q square, it will be g y1 y2 in the bracket y2 plus y1 by 2. Let us substitute the value of q square in the previous equation here. So loss of energy will be equal to, so in place of q square we are writing g y1 y2 in the bracket y2 plus y1 y2 and the other terms as it is. So in this equation we can take y2 plus y1 common, and this equation if we simplify y2 plus y1 as it is, so y2 minus y1 square I can write as y2 plus y1 in the bracket y2 minus y1 divided by 4 y1 y2, and this term will be as it is. Now if we take y2 minus y1 common, so here I will be left with y2 plus y1 whole square divided by 4 y1 y2 minus 1, and if we simplify this, y2 plus y1 the whole square divided by 4 y1 y2 minus 1, if we take common denominator 4 y1 y2, so the numerator will be y2 plus y1 the whole square minus 4 y1 y2, and if we simplify we will be getting this as y2 minus y1 the whole square, and y2 minus y1 the whole square into y2 minus y1, it will be y2 minus y1 the whole cube. The denominator term 4 y1 y2 will be as it is. Hence the equation for energy loss will be y2 minus y1 the whole cube whole divided by 4 y1 y2. So this is the equation for energy loss. I have been referring these 4 books. I am referring Fluid Mechanics and Hydraulic Machines by Dr. R.K. Rajput, R.K. Bansal, Fluid Mechanics and Hydraulic Machines, Problems and Solution by Subramanya K, and Fluid Mechanics and Hydraulic Machines by P. N. Modi and S. M. Seth.